Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to Let's Talk Friday, and I am your host, Janice Mlenga. And with me is Mr. Mwalula. Kindly introduce yourself, sir.
Good evening to our wonderful followers out there and happy Easter in advance.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Happy Easter, everyone. Hope you enjoy this 4 days holiday mindfully, not taking advantage of it to do all sorts of things. Okay, today is another beautiful Friday. I bring you another interesting, beautiful topic. Uh, how to prevent marital distress and divorce. Looking at our generation, a lot of divorces have come about unnecessarily, actually, and people are getting divorced for no proper reasons and for their own beneficial reasons. And I think this can be something that we need to talk about, and the viewers also need to give us what they think is causing these divorces. Kindly keep contact with us in the comment section. Tell us what you think and what you feel is causing these divorces. After this short break, join us again.
Lono Studios cares about your memories, and what better way to keep your memories than having pictures and videos. As Lono Studios, we cover events such as weddings, kitchen parties, chilanga mulilo, birthday parties, as well as corporate events. If you are looking for quality pictures and videos for such events, look no further than Lono Studios. Visit and like our Facebook page at LonoZM.
Welcome back. So, Mr. Mwalula, before we actually start discussing, I want the viewers to have a little brief picture of what we're actually talking about. What is marital distress?
I think in a layman's language, when we talk
Yes.
about distress, we're talking about some sort of anxiety, some sort of, these negative feelings, suffering in general. So
Okay.
that's something to do with anything that will affect us negatively. I would
Okay.
consider it to be distress. So when you talk about marital distress, we are basically talking about the anxieties, the problems, the conflicts that spouses have to endure. The problems, yes, problems would be there, but we're talking about these problems that are beyond partners that will cause maybe a lot of problems in their lives, to even resort to even harm, physical harm, psychological harm, and the like.
Okay, how about divorce? Because you can find that people just hear divorce, no, people are getting divorced, they got divorced. What is a divorce?
Divorce is separation from. When we talk about, usually use the divorce when we're talking about two people that are legally married, then they decide to dissolve the marriage. That's divorce. But
Okay.
we've seen that there's been an increase in number of divorces for one simple reason. Most of these unions that we may classify to be divorced, they may not necessarily be divorced.
Okay.
But in legal terms, when you talk about divorce, you're talking about people that are legally married, people who came together as husband and wife according to the law.
Okay.
Staying together with someone for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years does not necessarily qualify
Mean
that
that
to
you're
be
married.
marriage,
Okay.
because now it has become like a tradition and a
Mm-hmm.
custom, and for people to cohabit. From cohabitation, it becomes a norm. They're getting married. There are people that come together as husband and wife without proper consent from the parents. They might even start having children, start living together, and start even doing things together. But as long as they are not doing that according to the law, then we cannot say that they have
Divorce.
divorced. So divorce has to do with a dissolving of a legal union between a man and a woman as husband and wife.
Okay. Okay, so why is it necessary to have a reason and understanding of distress and divorce prevention in marriage?
You see, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's what we learn in science.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever you do in life, there are results, good or bad. That's why even when you enter marriage, marriage is for serious people. I want to even stress this one. It's a serious business.
Okay.
It's not. It's not a one-off thing to say I enter there, then I think I'll go and change my mind in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Then you need to understand what you are going into. Because once you understand what you are going into, you are going to endure. You are going to persevere. You will be determined. Because the perseverance, determination, makes the impossible possible, the possible likely, and the likely definite. You cannot persevere. You cannot be determined. You cannot be persistent and even patient to make your marriage work if you don't really understand in what marriage is all about. But I'm not talking about being in an abusive relationship, being an abusive marriage. Because some people misquote me to say, why should I endure? Why should I persevere? Even in an abused kind of marriage. No, I'm talking about problems. Problems will always come. Problems are part of life. But if you don't really understand what marriage is all about, just a simple problem will make you think that I'm packing out. Or I'm moving out. Because you don't really understand. So it's important for us to understand the issue that may lead to divorce. Issues that may lead to distress. Because usually some people, if you have interacted with people that have divorced, they will not even give you a proper reason why they did that. And they never even thought at one time that they would divorce. But they divorced. Why they divorced? Because they failed to handle certain issues. So there are certain things that we need to work on them. You know, prior to our program, I was just discussing with you. I was telling you that one of the biggest challenges that we have is we always want marriage to work for us.
Exactly.
Marriage will never work for you if you don't work on it. So a relationship works for those who work on it. So exactly. What will make that marriage work are the two people that have come together as husband and wife. Don't enter into marriage thinking marriage is going to solve your problems. Don't enter into marriage thinking marriage is going to make you happy. Happiness is a choice. It's a decision you make. So if you decide not to be happy even when you are not married, when you enter marriage it will be worse. It will be like you are now in Baghdad or in Ukraine while there is war. Every morning when you wake up you hear gunshots. So everything that will... Yes! So if you think that, no, I want to be happy, when I get married I'll be happy. Yes. I'm telling you, marriage is very fun. Just when you sleep, some of you women will snore. By snoring, and if I don't like it will cause problems. Just one simple thing. Why did they divorce? I know.
She was snoring.
She was snoring.
Okay.
You understand such things?
Yes. Okay. So, coming to you, touched a bit of what causes stress and divorce. Can you highlight that one?
You know what causes stress is I'll tell you that nowadays most of these relationships that will culminate into marriage are based on lies and deceit.
Okay.
They are based on lies and deceit for one simple reason, because if you don't understand the vision of the person that you are entering into marriage with, it will lead to stress. It will lead to distress. It will lead to problems because you did not have a concrete reason why you entered into that relationship. When I talk about the vision, you need to know where you are going. First, you need to understand where you are coming from. You can't enter into a relationship with someone you don't understand his or her past.
Okay. So
I know there's no future in the past. But the reality on the ground is that I need to know a little bit of where you're coming from. We are all we are all, you know, we are all products of our past. But we should not dwell on the past. The past can actually be a very good foundation for us to forge ahead.
Talking about the past before you actually continue explaining, is it that certain questions that you're supposed to ask that person about their past? And if so, what are those questions?
The question that I can also ask you, sorry that I'm answering questions by also asking you questions, is very simple. Why do people date?
Well, some date for... Personally, dating for me is having the vision of having a concrete relationship. It's going into marriage.
Of course, Joiners, you are going to ask them, where are your parents? Exactly. Once you ask about your parents, you're asking about their past.
Yes.
Where do you come from? Where is your village? What is your education, maybe, for example, background? Or tell me, especially when you ask people to say, tell me a little bit about yourself. when you ask someone says, tell me a little bit about yourself, they want to know where you are coming from. Who is this person? Because we are all products of our past. For you to be where you are today, you have a backlog of things that you would have done. And those, if you are not known to me, of course I may not know everything about you, but those are the things that will bring problems.
I
in
asked
life.
that question of people asking about the past because it's I came across something on social media where they're like, you're supposed to ask the person how many guys he or she she's dated, the guys she slept with. Are those also things necessary?
They are necessary, but you must be very diplomatic. You're not going to ask your boyfriend or your fiance to say, as if it's an interview. Yes. So how many boyfriends have you dated? How many girlfriends have you dated?
Yes.
Okay. How many girls have you slept with?
Yes.
That will bring problems. You know, it's out the way you are moving. You know, from one stage to the other.
Yes.
If this person really loves you, they'll open up to you and they'll tell you about their past. Because when you sit and chat, we as human beings, we always want to talk about things that we have done, we have been,
Yeah.
such kind of things.
Exactly.
It will help. Because if for example you are dating someone who was heartbroken by the fiance or by the so-called ex, and you don't understand their past, how are you can't help them to heal. But once you understand their past, it will be very easy for you to deal with whatever is troubling them, because you help them to heal. We come together for one simple reason, for companionship. You know, it takes two to tango. You cannot make progress in your life on your own. Even when we get married, we want to double our efforts.
Very true.
So you understand that once you know their past and the problems that they have gone through, I'm sure you have heard people say, nah, that one is my pillar. That one is my what? That one is my what? They are talking about being a pillar because where they were coming from, they didn't have a shoulder to lean on. But now they have found
They
this
have
pillar.
someone, yes.
They have someone now that they can actually lean on, and they can, you know, who is very supportive to them.
Yes. Okay, so is it possible to prevent this stress and divorce in marriage?
It's very preventable.
Okay, how?
It's very preventable in the sense that if you find someone you love so much, love is a spontaneous kind of feeling. It comes naturally.
Yes.
You cannot coerce love. I can't come at gunpoint and say, join us. You should love me. If you don't love me, I'll shoot
I'll
you.
kill you.
I'll kill you. Yes, as human beings, sometimes we will be able to submit out of fear.
Yes.
But I can tell you, you can use lies and deceit to start a relationship. But you are not going to build your marriage
Online.
and the fruitful relationship on deceit and lies.
Yes.
It's very easy. You can win the heart of a woman. You can even win the heart of a man based on lies and deceit. But I'll tell you, like it is always said, that you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Not always.
Lies have got short legs.
Short
They
legs,
will
yes.
soon be overtaken by the truth.
The truth, yeah. Okay, so okay, this is very interesting, and you know, it's getting more interesting. There are some pits which couples are likely to fall in, such as flourishing pit, conflicted, and the I quit one. How do you prevent yourself from falling into these pits as a couple?
One of the things that you need to understand, I still want to refer to what I said. If you don't know where you are going, every place looks like one. Somebody posted on social media, I found something interesting. That if you stop by every dog that barks at you, you'll not be able to reach the market. So all these pitfalls you're talking about, they will always be there. But you can avoid them if you really know where you want to go, where you want to take your relationship. How do you avoid them? You should have a vision. A vision for your life as joiners. And that man you are also dating should also have a vision. You put your vision together. That vision is now becomes your guiding, your guiding post. It's not what is guiding you. One man said, the poorest person in the world is a person without a dream, is a person without a vision. And another man said, a man without a vision is a man without a future. And a man without a future will always be dragged back to his past.
Yes.
So you can avoid those by having a vision, because whatever happens here, even if you have conflict, you have all those flourishing pits and the like, and those there's something that is greater than what you are going through. And that is what is going to help you even move forward. Even, there's no life that is devoid of challenges. There's no life that is devoid of problems. If you are looking for a life that is flawless, if you are looking for a life that is a bed of roses, not on earth, maybe in heaven, or in Mars, or in Pluto, or in Jupiter, or any other planet, not on Mother Earth, problems will always be there.
Okay, we have some comments here. The first comment is coming from Jimmy Soko. It says, listening and following you, my brother. Kumbu Kilikoi, see you. Okay, thank you so much. I'm enjoying the program. Jinx, good explanation, my lecturer. Okay, so keep the comments coming. Interact with us here in the comment section. After this short break, we'll get back to with some more beautiful answers to the beautiful questions that we have for you.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation of an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.
Welcome back, our beautiful viewers. Okay, so Mr. Mwalula, looking at how much divorces have become a new trend, and despite people, is it last year when they gave
those statistics?
Yes, statistics of 22,000?
22,000 divorces.
Yes, which is quite saddening, because despite those 22,000 cases of divorce being there, people are still getting married. Why do you think they're still getting married despite people getting divorced, saying marriage is a shipikisha club, and they're backing out of it?
Number one, we are social beings. We are social beings. So I don't usually agree with those. Anyway, it's their opinion when they say, no, I don't need a man. I didn't need a woman. That was I think. People usually say that. But marriage is not a man-made thing. It's an institution God created.
And
God and blessed and created for a reason.
Very
So
much.
if we abuse it, does not necessarily make it to be bad. We have made it bad ourselves. We are talking about the issue of divorce. I know we are talking about the very sensitive and complicated issue.
Very sensitive.
But the issue is that we can always find solutions to all these problems. And I still want to go back to what I said, that most of these relationships, they are based on a shaky foundation. Deceit and lies can make you win the heart of a woman, can make you win the heart of a man, but that will not make a man to stay. We have departed away from the norm. What was God's original intention
of putting marriage?
You know, the Bible is very clear and explicit. It tells us to say whatever God created, God created the heaven and earth, and whatever God created was beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Meaning, marriage is a beautiful thing. The people that have dented marriage, it's those people that are coming out of it who didn't actually understand. And I still want to quote the words of Miles Monroe in his book, Understanding the Power and Purpose of Men and Women. He said, Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Yeah.
We don't understand the purpose of marriage and we abuse it because some of us, we play after playing and then now we are tired now.
Exactly.
We want to settle down. But our past will be haunting us. You understand? And then other people would want to get married because they want a support system. They want a man who's going to support them, and they want a title, they want to be called Mrs. and they like. So people are entering into marriage for different reasons. And most of these reasons I can give them as excuses. They are not proper reasons. They are excuses. Florence Nightingale, the founder of the nursing profession, said, I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took an excuse. Don't do anything out of selfish reasons, join us. Never do that. Don't enter into marriage because the man is rich. That's why even people have sung songs about Chawama Inderia Kapentana Finshi Mukomboni. Ukuchila Nderia Tiboni ya mufilamba kuisa kumayadi. Happiness is a choice. All these things that we see are material possessions.
Very true.
Other men who want to get married because they are fed up of washing for themselves or cooking for themselves. So they are looking for someone to wash for them.
To do that.
Do that for them. Now imagine I marry you for one simple reason of wanting to be washing for me, to be cooking for me. You remember, I mentioned it last time here, that we have lost the original purpose of marriage. When God created it, never created it to say, when I get a woman, I get a man, so that he can be washing for me, he can be ironing for me, taking care of my house. You can employ a maid to take care of that. So if you employ a maid, the maid can wash for you, can cook for you, and can make the bed for you. You as a woman also, you work, because in the past people used to get married. Some people get married because they want somebody to support them.
Yes.
Now you work, and you can even buy your own clothes, buy your own food, buy whatever you want. What is the man going to do? You start disrespecting the man. Because I can buy anything for myself. Other people will say even who marry just because they want they are tired of buying sex. Sorry to say this. Okay. They are tired of buying sex. So they want free sex. And they want to have sex where there is no emotional attachment. You understand?
Yes.
So now, when that happens, there will come a time when the sex drive will not be there. You need to understand that for a relationship, there are 3 pillars that determines the principles, actually, that determines the kind of relationship that people have. Passion, commitment, and intimacy. When commitment is not present, there's passion, and intimacy is a different relationship. When there's commitment, there's no passion, there's intimacy. It's also a different kind of relationship.
So these 3 have to go hand in hand.
There has to be passion, there has to be intimacy, and there has to be commitment. You have people that have stayed in marriage, or they have stayed in relationships where the only thing that has brought them together is when they meet and they have sex. That's the only time they can meet. So if there's no such a thing, then problems will start. Let's go back to the drawing board. Understands God's intention for having created this institution of marriage. That is going to help us deal with all these problems. Otherwise, most of us, we marry for wrong reasons. And when you marry for a wrong reason, don't think that it's going to last. We give you excuses because you think, no, I'm 30 now. What can I do? I think the only thing that I need to do is the society is looking at me. We are so much interested in trying to impress other people at the expense of our own development.
Especially, I think to us ladies, it's more like a competition because my friend had such kind of a wedding.
Yes.
I also need to have such kind of a wedding. Did you see the kind of dress that she wore? I'm going to wear something more expensive than she wore. I'm going to have a bigger event than she did. I think that's why even divorces are actually a lot because even just to have the name, no, I'm Mrs. Who, I'm Mrs. What.
Yes.
Yes, I think we should actually avoid that.
Pressure also sometimes comes from the relatives.
From the family.
You know what I did? I'm not saying try, but I'll tell you what I did.
Yes.
My relatives had no pressure from my side because they knew. I told them, I'm the one getting married. I'm not going to ask any of my relatives, including my brothers, to give me a coin. Because this kind of investment, I chose it for myself.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be extravagant. I had a problem on the other side. They said, no, we want a very beautiful wedding.
I remember you talked about it.
I talked about it sometime. I told them, what is important is to have this marriage blessed in church. That relationship, that reception you're talking about is not going to be there because I do not have the capacity. Everyone thought I was not serious. They sat, my fiance, who is now my wife, said, this man you want to marry is not serious. I told them, okay, let me give you the money that I have. Then you decide to do it. You are going to decide how. Yes. I gave her the money what we had. She looked at them and I said, the only thing we can do is a kitchen party. Go to church, have a kitchen party, and no one complained. Sometimes we hide our financial status.
Very true.
It's not about looking wealth. Don't look wealth. Be wealth. Most of us are so much preoccupied looking wealth. Outside. But nishi muli phone mukwetena kasiriza ka 5 kwacha malifiro kulipira kwa 2 months. You understand? If you have for mwashime, you know that I was talking about these things of deceit and marriage.
Yes.
You have this man who is I love, he loves me. He has never taken you to his house. Do you say his friend's house? He comes to pick you using a friend's car. And you guys no, my boyfriend will come and pick me. Friend's house, friend's car. Get married. Reality dawns. Mwasanga kwataka namponika 3/4 mattress. Kali poka shara kwa nipani ile tora fira chitanga ya fonka fi. Yes, eka kusema Scott. Nembare shibiri nempoto im. Apa kuambira pabula. Chasha number first waingirira mukairi. You know where you are coming from. Join us. The parents have told you. Ah, sisi na mupwa. Shije niko aba fya baichebe. How mwasha mwabashira no kubashira. Kuyafika kulya mwasanga is jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. But I have a jacket. I'm a jacket. Me, I do events as master of ceremony. I've done a lot of weddings. Some of the couples have just told them, don't go alosha first ba chula cake. But just who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to impress? We have our brother, Pastor Joe, our Colono Studios, but director, manager. I'm sure the woman never starts struggle and no way some going that mkeseko pako wedding after wawe umtenga how can you come over to church why troubling yourself? All these things are not even necessary. They are not even important.
Yeah. Imagine people even go as far as getting loans.
Yes. Why should you get a loan for that?
I think recently I saw a post where a man refused to divorce his wife because he got a loan to say we can't divorce
because
not finished paying for the loan. Okay. In the middle of all these divorces, stress, people actually seeking for counseling. Why is love a beautiful thing?
Love is a beautiful thing. Zig Ziglar in his book Over the Top said, to be loved, to be loved is the second most important thing in the world. To love someone is the best thing in the world.
Okay.
Was telling the disciples to say he was going to go. He gave them one command. If you read the Bible, in John chapter, if I'm not mistaken, John should have been John chapter 16 verse 33. He told them to say, this is my command. Love each other. Love is one of the fruits of the Spirit. If you read the Bible in Galatians chapter 5, verse 20. I'm speaking like a man of God now.
Yes.
It's not man-made. Love is not man-made.
No, it's from God.
It's a beautiful thing. That's why when you love, it will actually hide all these, inadequacies about the other person.
Flaws.
And if you are not in love, you may not see what those that are in love are able to see. That's why they say
Love is
love is
blind.
blind. No. Yes, love is blind, but lovers are not. Love is a beautiful thing. Very beautiful thing.
Okay, I think we're going to go on a short break as we continue, describing how love is a beautiful thing and how much people are getting married for wrong reasons. Keep the comments coming. We're going to read them after this short break.
Lono Studios cares about your memories, and what better way to keep your memories than having pictures and videos? As Lono Studios, we cover events such as weddings, kitchen parties, chilanga mulilo, birthday parties, as well as corporate events. If you are looking for quality pictures and videos for such events, look no further than Lono Studios. Visit and like our Facebook page at LonoZM.
Our beautiful viewers, we have some comments. We have a comment from Godfrey Flames, my sister Hodness at it. Thank you so much, Godfrey. And David Chikotola, he says, very educative program. Go deeper, sir. Enjoying the program. Watching from Kitwe. Okay, thank you so much to know that even people from Kitwe are watching. Okay, so relationships are dynamic. They change just like seasons. There's rain season, there's a hot season. These seasons, even relationship do have that. People don't understand to say they have stages and seasons. Why are they dynamic, and how do people supposed to understand to say, okay, if I am in a relationship, or if I am really offering up, depending on how you are working on it.
Exactly. I said it earlier on that a relationship only work for you if you work for it. So what works for the other people may not necessarily work for you, or what worked for you in the other relationship might not work, because we are totally different people. Even identical twins, they do not have the same fingerprints. You understand? The same with marriage. They are different dynamics. There are different dynamics in a relationship. It's not one size fits all. To say no, even the things that we are talking about, we are not saying that they are gospel truth, and you follow them, then everything is going to work. You may employ all these things that we are talking about, but at the end of the day, the relationship doesn't work. For one simple reason. It's not even, I'm not saying that you can meet even a person whose character is upright. That person is God-fearing. Is a good person and everything. But that does not mean that you can settle with them in marriage. Okay. I can give an example of Moses. Moses liberated the children of Israel. But he never entered that good place of Canaan. He was a very good man. The mission was only to reach them, to help them through, but not to reach them there. So even some of the people that you are going to date, they may not necessarily be good enough to settle with them. Because sometimes if you find this person is good, his vision and yours are totally different, and you force things. Yes, some people will marry you out of self-pity. But you don't need to get married out of self-pity. This is for men especially. Don't marry a woman because you are scared that if you tell her you don't love her, the relationship is not going to go anywhere. Then, yes, marry me. I cancelled one of my former students. She got married last year. She got married to a man she didn't love.
Why?
Even now, I still have messages she sent me at 4 in the morning when she was going to stand before the pulpit, before the altar. At 9, she sent me, Mr Mwalula, I want to know if I'm doing the right thing. At 04, she sent me a message. I had talked to her. Okay, I came to learn that she was getting married to a man she didn't love. Why? Because, they were found at church in the same choir, and it's from there. So this man had serious intention He told the lady thought he decided to reach the parents, and the parents welcomed it. And she accepted. She thought it was going. She was going to delay it, and she was going to develop that love. But the more they went into that relationship, the more she felt
Out of love.
out of love. But they had advanced, and she never wanted to disappoint the parents. Apparently, she told the mother, "I don't want to marry this one." The mother said, "No, you can't do that.
You can't.
How is your father going to look at? How is society going to look at? But are you marrying for the society? Are you marrying for?" That's where the problem is.
Yes.
So there are all these dynamics sometimes. But one thing is for sure: don't marry because of out
The
of
society is
self-pity
going to look at
or
you.
because how will society look at me. No, Twali dating us and I posted this man all over social media.
Social media.
Then what happens? Wakambuena moinat, I'm not a serious person. No, you're not marrying for them, you're marrying for yourself. Otherwise, if you do that, you're crucifying yourself. You are
Okay.
actually, pouring gasoline on yourself. Most of these people that are abused in marriages, I can say have contributed. One, they saw signs, but they ignored.
The red flags.
Exactly. They are there. The red flags are always there. You can see that there's danger here. Some people will tell you to say there's danger here.
Not
But,
even some people, especially us women, we have the intuition. You just know when things
you
are not
know,
right.
but
and
you
you're
have-
like, no, it's going to change.
It's going to change.
when we get married.
Yes. You are in courtship, this person insults you.
Insults you
This
and
person
beats you.
abuses you. Ruffles you and is doing all sorts of things. Then you try to, if a person can do that, even insult you when you are in courtship, what happens? You don't do that.
Okay, so why is building a successful marriage like building a home?
It requires you go it stage by stage. There's no way you can start building a house with on a shaky foundation. The way you start a relationship determines how it will end. A good beginning makes a very good ending.
Ending, yes.
If you don't expect, I was telling one lady recently, I asked, because I usually talk to people when I give motivational talks and people will come over and say, I want to find out. I said, I asked this young lady, where did you meet? They met this person. We used to, every time we go clubbing, I would meet him, then we started a relationship. Oh, you meet in the club, right? Are you going to build the marriage in the club? No. What will happen is that when you get into marriage now, you want the man to stay home, but he will ask you. Even before I married you, I was partying, so you can't stop me. I'll follow. No, you are not supposed to follow. You remain. So the way you begin your relationship has a lot to do with how it is going to end, because you don't expect that you are using broken bricks to start a foundation and say you are going to have a very good structure. Now, for any story building, wasanga fubale kula bambire nshimbi panshi. Tekusana that molecular story building masambire nshimbi apa. Chikesa ipa abantu ichonomba to collapse on the people. That's the same thing that is happening. I have seen ladies that are abused in the relationship. So, bali mkotishi pale batobama pale bachitefinshia. It happens. Even some parents they even contribute. Mwana wandi chiupani shipikisha club. If pano wale mwana ba so wale mpumaine. Even for me to be here, I used to hide. You understand? Even traditions also plays a very important role. You go and ask wrong people. All they are interested in is but at the end of the day, your happiness and your health and your life matters, and is even more important than those material things that you might be thinking about.
Okay, so I think the way you've said how you begin a relationship matters. I read in a certain book, they were like, if you began your relationship with certain activities like going out, it's very important to have time as a couple. You have time for yourselves, you go out, you have fun, creating time for each other. Now didamwaupana nomba takudi nibashimwana nivana mwana takwaba no kwata weekend you stay together. I think that also contributes to people having not that close intimacy between them, because they stopped doing what they used to do in the beginning of the relationship.
Exactly. Because there are certain, it's like you build a certain culture, which and a certain pattern which you are going to follow. That's why even like we said earlier on, there are all these dynamics. We come from different homes. some of the people, and even ourselves, some are outgoing and others are not.
Are not.
So sometimes when you start a relationship like that and doesn't continue, that can be a source of problems. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the ways, essential ways that you can actually, let me say, steps that you have to follow to build a strong marriage?
Number one, be true to yourself.
Okay.
That's number one. Be true to yourself. There are people that deceive themselves. They deceive themselves. What do I mean by deceiving themselves? If you are beautiful, that is not a guarantee that you are going to have
marriage.
You are going to have a successful marriage or a successful relationship. There are people that want to always carry that tag with them. Even in a relationship, a man does something, they tell them, "Me, I'm beautiful." There are so many men out there who can fall for me. You understand? So be true to yourself, number one. Number two, have a vision for your life. For your life. If you don't know where you are going, every place looks like one. If you remember, at some time back on this platform, I said, as human beings, we are living magnets. What we get in life has nothing to do with what we want, but has got everything to do with who we are. So when I have set some standards, I will attract the right kind of people in my life.
Very true.
The other thing that you also need to bear in mind is that understand the other person's vision. Apart from understanding your vision, understand the other person's vision. Then also understand their past, where these people are coming from.
The imperfections.
Yes, because there are people that might be coming from homes where there's no proper guidance. There are people, all these people that we see,
some people are raised on survival skills.
Exactly. Somebody said there are a lot of people, but very few human beings. Okay. Some of these people that we see are beasts. They are hooves in God's sheep. They will look nice. They will dress nicely. But when you sit down with them, even the devil himself would deny to say, "I think I was not behind the crime they committed."
Okay.
Then the other thing that we also need to understand is that these materials, money and other things, must not be used as a yardstick to measure a successful relationship. Nowadays, ladies are preoccupied with the man a car drives, the house he occupies,
what he wears,
the phone he uses and the like. Those are materialistic things. They may be here today, tomorrow they may not be there.
Yeah, very true.
All these things that we are talking about, in some time back, they were there in a different form. But we should hold on to something that is concrete, something that cannot easily fade, and that's love. And the love that we are talking about is not romantic love. I meet you, I look you, I see you to be very beautiful. Because even ladies, they will hide every time you meet them. Never chaya foundation, ichibala tachimoneka. Maupana nomba, ichibala wasa chimona panga balala, amalendale fumogalasa mufukoko. So you start thinking otherwise. So let's not base on the beauty from outside, but inside beauty is what is important.
I think as well as listening to each other,
exactly,
forgiving more often.
Communication,
yes.
Being very patient with each other. Tolerating. Actually, if there is a virtue that is so important in marriage, is tolerance.
Tolerance, yes.
Tolerance is one key thing that you need to develop, and you must be very patient with your spouse. Otherwise, you get married today, tomorrow you are packing out.
Okay, and practicing forgiveness more.
Forgiveness is important. If you don't forgive, you carry the baggage of the other person. That's the way it is. Whichever person you have not forgiven, you are carrying them. That's why you know why why forgiveness is important, because if I hate you and I don't forgive you, every time I see you smile, what is it? You don't understand such things.
Yes.
Me, I've sat with couples that nish mwachira seka pala. Amwaite mo kuseka seka imwe. Mweka ba shasha mwalienda kwati ninda ya mshanshani. Such kind of things.
And I think as well as sustaining love, how to sustain it.
Yes, let's learn some of these things. That's why I like Pentecostal churches.
Okay.
They organize meeting for singles where they talk about these issues. These are issues that youths are yearning to learn, that they don't understand. If you ask just one, carry out a walking in interview with some of these youths, these finders, ask them where they got the information about the relationships and love. TV, their peers.
Telemundo.
Yes, such things. When the cultures are totally different. When the cultures are totally different.
Okay, so I think we've come to the end of our program. I think give the last views or your last thoughts to the viewers of how much marriage distress and divorces can be avoided.
One, they can be avoided. I don't believe in knowledge is power. I believe in applied knowledge is power.
Wow, yes.
I want to appeal to our viewers. There is this book written by a wonderful man, Augustine Kapembwa, The Journey to a Christian Marriage. Is a very powerful book that can help you build a better relationship. This is a very good book, and I'm encouraging people. Those who would want to get a copy, they can get in touch with me.
Okay.
The Journey to a Christian Marriage. It has got data. Because some of us think that if you are single, it's a case. No, it's a blessing. Even the Bible says those who don't want to get married can stay like that because they work for God. Even getting married is a blessing. Even not getting married is also a blessing. This book, The Journey to a Christian Marriage, is a very powerful book that will help you understand any kind of relationship you want to enter into. Lastly but not the least, I always want to tell people that the only thing that will make you achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life is to have a vision in whatever you do. All these things that we are talking about can be avoided if we decide and involve God in whatever we do. The Bible is very clear in Luke chapter 1 verse 37 that with God nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. So we can build a better relationship. No, me, marriage is marriage is a beautiful thing. We are abusing it ourselves. No. It was just abused.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we have, personally, I have learned a lot. I hope my viewers have also learned a lot, because these are some of these. In fact, this is the reality. This is the reality. We are running away from the reality, and we're creating marriage over the fantasies that we have. The movies that we watch are the things that we want to work for us in our relationships, in our marriage. That's why you're finding that most of the marriages are actually not working. Over simple misunderstandings, people are actually breaking up, they're divorcing, over simple issues that they can actually solve. I hope all of you viewers have gotten something from what we've actually discussed tonight. And until next time, bye-bye.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation over an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no. Lono Studios cares about your memories, and what better way to keep your memories than having pictures and videos. As Lono Studios, we cover events such as weddings, kitchen parties, chilanga mulilo, birthday parties, as well as corporate events.